So I tried doing this earlier and it took me a bit longer than 5 minutes, but hopefully I'll be faster this time. And then now that I know the presentation, it'll be a bit better. So the title of my talk is CILIP London, Q and the Magic of GIFs. A little bit about me and the goals behind the talk. Next slide, please. Which is actually the talk has a double goal. It's trying to give you a little bit of an idea of innovation you can bring into your service, and the second idea is simply to let people that are trainees, apprentices, or even people you just manage roam a bit. Let them free, let them experiment things, let them try things, let them join things like CILIP London. Right, about me. My name is Arved Kirschbaum, and as you might have already guessed from the name or my accent, I am not from here, neither from London nor from the UK. I'm actually Austrian, and I've only just moved to London in 2019, beginning of September, to start my job as the library graduate trainee at Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew. I have a very, very lovely supervisor and very supportive mentor called Anne Griffin, and she encouraged me to join CILIP, and which I did on the 5th of September 2019. And I was always really keen to get involved, and she was really supportive of that thing. So my first contact with CILIP was actually before, and this is part of my journey of how I became treasurer, was these ad hoc professional development grants I mentioned before. I applied for one because I wanted to attend a CPD 25 event, which is run by the M25 consortium, which cost £200 because my library was not a member. So I was like, okay, I might apply for the grant. As is quite clear, or should be obvious, I did not get the grant because £200 is a ridiculous amount of money to charge for something that CILIP is also running and is for cheaper and also for free in some of the other member networks. It was basically a course to talk about different options in the LIS, so that you study your library degree. And but as I got that rejection, I sort of cheekily put in at the end of the email asking if there's anything I can do in the committee, let me know. And that quickly transformed into a commitment because there was a role that became free. I started off as being a lowly committee member. Then I became Students and New Professions Officer, which I could do for about a month. So we're now in January 2020, because then the treasurer at the time announced that she wants to step down and was looking for sort of an assistant to sort of go with her until the last AGM, so the AGM before this one, to learn how it all works, which I did. And it was just great. And I want to lead from here to show you how being involved in CILIP actually helped me innovate and do stuff for my library service. And I hope to sort of convey to you the idea that if you let your trainees do this sort of thing and take that time volunteering, that actually really good things can happen. But first, I need to mention, the big thing that happened to all of us, the pandemic. During the pandemic, I had to spend some time on furlough, which at first was fine, but then after 3-4 days, the crows started coming. This is an artwork from Fourth Lease, with one of my favorite artists. And it was yeah, sort of, that was playing around in my head, being like, okay, I'm halfway through my traineeship, but now I'm on furlough. What am I supposed to do? But luckily, I had this commitment with CILIP, and so I had time for experiments. One of the things that I set up was the CILIP London YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed to it yet, I think you should. This is where it is, on the CILIP London on YouTube, really easy to find. The recordings of this will appear there as well. And luckily, because of that, I had lots of video footage to play around with. So I chose to teach myself how to video and audio edit and become better at those sort of things, and then hopefully be able to communicate library services and service changes a lot easier to people. And one of the things I did on the side, and the thing I want to show you and teach you a little bit today, or sort of introduce to you, is the idea of GIFs. We all love them. Here's some of my favorite examples. They're fantastic. I love using them on Twitter. I love using them to communicate. They're just a really fun, easy way to do things. But what I didn't know is how to make any myself. I've consumed them loads, but I don't know how to use them. But it turns out it's actually really, really easy to make your own and use them effectively. Right, I'm going to introduce some of the tools to you that I use or have used to make these GIFs, and then I'm going to show you at the end a couple of examples that I've created, which where you know that I've really I've shown to my supervisors, and now actually Q is taking them on, and we use them a lot more in our communications, and they've become really useful tools for us to sort of show people how our library works, how to access services, and all that stuff. Right. First thing you'll need is either a webcam like this one or a software to record your screen. I can recommend Flashback Express, which I used at the beginning, because the useful thing with Flashback Express is if I just turn on my little pointer here, is that it will record your mouse, and it will also record, it will put a little highlight below the mouse, so you actually see where it is on the screen at all times, and every time you click, it gives you a little ring showing off that it has been clicked, which is quite nice. So you don't have to talk people through that in that way, being like, oh yeah, I clicked on this, I clicked on that, I clicked on this. The screen recording will show you. The other software I'd like to mention is OBS. Both of these are free, by the way. If any of you are video gamers out here, this is open broadcast software. This is the sort of thing that people use to stream video games on Twitch and Facebook Gaming and all these wonderful streaming platforms. And so I've started using OBS more recently, because the good thing about OBS is that it allows you to record only very specific parts of your screen, which means you can really just hone down on the information you want to show, and it's really crystal clear the image that you want to convey. OBS is open source, which means the source code can be looked at. It has a very strong community supporting it, which means it will not just be software that will falter and disappear after a while. You can show it to your IT department, you can show them it's not malicious, and hopefully convince them that way that they will allow you to install these on your machines. It's also completely free, and I think will remain free until basically forever, thanks to the open source community. The next thing you'll need is a video editor. This is so that if you record your screen or yourself talking, you can do multiple takes, and you can be very relaxed about how they look, and you can give sort of a bit of space at the beginning, a bit of space at the end, which you can then cut out using the video editor. If you're using Windows, you have the video editor already pre-installed, so you don't even need to do anything. If you're using a Mac, you can download iMovie for free, and it's basically the same software, and it does the same thing, and you can cut down the exact 10-15 seconds you want to use, or 3-4 seconds you want to use for your GIF, to really make crystal clear the information you're using and the message you want to bring across. The next thing you'll need is a file converter, and for that I recommend using the online service Cloud Convert, which is here. Oh shit, I closed it. Oh, I'm sorry. That was an accident. It's a website which allows you to convert video files you recorded into those GIFs, which you can then use in your presentations, in your blogs, in your messages that you're sending out to your people, in your emails, on your Twitter, on your social media. It's a free website. You can use it. I've used it basically my entire life. It's good. Solid German engineering, which means it's really easy to use. It will work, and it's actually quite powerful. You can convert not just images or videos. You can more or less do every file, where you select your right file here, so your MOV, MPG, MP4, whatever spits out, whatever your video recording software spits out. Then change it to GIF. You can do some extra options, but you don't really need to. You can cut it down. You can change the frame size. Just select a file, and it's great. I did not share any of that. I'm sorry. Screen 2. Is that showing? Can you just get an indication that you can actually see that?
Yes.
Yeah,
we can.
Sorry. Because the green borders disappeared, so I don't know what's happening on my screen. Can't trust Zoom as much as I thought I could. Right, back to my slides. There you go. Can you see the slides again?
Yes.
Delightful. Final thing I want to show you is using your Windows settings to your full advantage. Because one of the things with GIF is if you just record your screen, you'll often have a white cursor on white, which can be quite difficult to see. And for accessibility reasons, it's actually a lot easier if you just change your cursor really quick. You can do that by pressing the Windows key. New share. The other screen. This one here. Pressing the Windows key, going into your thing, typing mouse settings. Clicking on that, waiting for it to load. Adjust mouse and cursor size, and that's a really useful thing. You drag it a bit bigger, select your color wheel, and you can literally choose any color on the rainbow you want, which is quite nice because it adds a little bit of character to your GIFs, a little bit of character to your videos, and you can also make them follow your brand colors, which is quite nice. So you can choose literally any color you want. Do a nice little pink here. And then finally, going back to screen 2, let me show you some examples how we use that really effectively to communicate things. And I've learned all of this because I had, video footage from CILIP London, which we recorded through events we organized, and then I could play around with it on my phone, and it was just fantastic. Right, a couple of examples. Next slide, please. There we go. So obviously, offered access to electronic resources became really big in the pandemic. The thing I love that Open Athens do is allow you to make your own post that you can add your library's name in it, you can add your logo in it, and it's just fantastic. So we could go, oh, blah, 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 you can log into your separate site, you don't need multiple accounts, you can keep your personal data safe, and then this thing. Usually what was on the slide before was literally just that, and that obviously can be quite confusing for people because they don't know what it means or they don't know what they're looking for in this option. If you just add this little crystal clear GIF at the beginning, it shows you, and as you see here, the cursor I made it yellow, so it really sticks out nice and well over the blue and white background. And you just can let that loop, and whilst it's looping, you can speak about, oh, we have 500 journals on Springer Link, you can access this and this and this. And once you've done that, you can then move on. And because you've already recorded the GIF once, you can now use it forever, right? You can use it in this presentation. You can use the same GIF again in the blog you're then posting about the presentation. You can use it on social media, and it becomes a really recognizable and good thing. And it has actually cut down for us on the amount of queries we get about being like, oh, I can't find the login button, or I can't find this, which is quite delightful. And because they're auto-playing in any blog you have, people don't have to click on extra video, people don't have to find extra resource. It's all just in there, and because it's a GIF, it behaves like an image, so it's really easy to plug in and plonk into different places. Another good example is the new click and collect service. I'm sure you also had to introduce one yourself. It's easy to use, and this was a new thing we introduced for us, right? People had to use email us a list of required titles, which we've not had people do before. They could just go to the shelves, take whatever they need, or just send us a list of emails, and it just made it a lot easier for us to track what people wanted. And whilst this is looping, I could then say, oh, look, we will put them on this trolley here. And then, you can wait period list of 7 days. You have an exception supply. Obviously, we wouldn't let people take out their rare items from the stores or pamphlets, things that can be quite dangerous to use. And when I time my things correctly, I would then get to this email thing right here. You can see the thing types in your email address, which is obviously not a real email address, but people get it, send email. And because it's a little video, I put a slide in the end that said, please email the library with any questions, which is perfect because it really underscored what we wanted to say. It was really clear what people wanted, what we wanted from people. People could clearly see what they needed to do, and it's really been brilliant for us. So yeah, GIFs are great, and I really thank CILIP London for having given me this sort of video footage to play around with and learn how to use and make these things. This is our last slide, and with that I am finished. So thank you very much for listening. Here's a little GIF I made earlier today. If you want to get in contact with me, I'm on Twitter at OptimusBiscuit, or if you want to email me, that's a.kirschbaum@q.org. Yes, hope you enjoyed that. And please let your graduate trainees go and volunteer for CILIP and other places.